Welcome. I am Noah, and this is Noah's Arts Entertainment. Thank you for tuning in on this Sunday. It's gloomy here in Chicago, and it's gloomy thoughts and shady things happening here. Not here just in the Midwest, but all over the world. And I feel very bad about that. And this theme here is something that I put together just so that I can not just align myself, but align those who are watching and those who are going to listen and learn. The theme here today is let's get real. Wake up call. This is concerning, I'm going to try to cover, I'm going to cover various things, but I'm going to have to be, probably not be able to remember everything, so I don't have a teleprompter. I am going to get me one, and I'm going to record it and then just play back, and I'll be following 2 words behind. I just gave away my secret, so once people copy right away. It's unbelievable how. But anyhow, I don't want to get into that. Again, welcome to Noah's Arts Entertainment. If you go through my channel, you'll see a lot of different themes. It's not just one theme. It's not because, I have to find my niche. I suppose I can. I've done a couple of them that really got almost 1,000 views, and I was, oh my God, okay. In comparison to what I get for some very important themes that I've been putting out, and this is going to be one of them. All right, so drastic times, changes call for different drastic changes. Drastic times call for drastic changes. And let's get real. Let's get real. Travel, it's not realistic. Going to travel somewhere, going to meet with people, going to meet with this, that, and the other. It's not realistic. It's off according to times. And everything is being done, through virtual means and, telephone, any way they can communicate, but not in person. And that puts a damper on a lot of things, right? Work, some ambitions that we have, some of us have goals. It puts a damper on all this. And why? Politics, it's just the reason history repeats itself. It's that same political views, perspectives, philosophy. It just keeps repeating itself. It might take 100 years to do or so, but it will happen and continues to happen as we see this process hopefully wrapping up and not spreading more than it has already. We do have better capabilities than Italy, and it's one of the reasons they say they have so many deaths thus far is because of not having the facilities or the equipment or technology that we have here in the U.S. So that should make a difference. Anyhow, let's move on to the theme. I joined this channel. When I joined this YouTube, I kind of deliberately went into a certain community, which I don't even really know if I'm part of, consider one or not. But I surely have been participating with readers and intuitives. I don't spend much time doing it. Because I'm going to listen to a few of you. I cannot spend a whole hour 2 hours listening to some one person. That's like asking me to watch a movie continuously throughout the whole day. It's not going to happen. So yeah, 10, 15, 20 minutes the most. That's what I do. I try to keep it there. Now I might, because I'm talking so much. Anyhow, so let's get real. Let's get real. So some of the readings pertain still to this day about twin flame and soulmate, and I understand it's all very important, but it's not realistic with the times that we're having. You know, it's like at the time, it's a time where either you had uh, loving people around you or that one loved one near you, you know, or you didn't. And if you didn't, then you're probably facing this alone. Because, I mean, if it's just physical attraction and just play and, you know, the player mentality, nobody wants to deal with you, you know, when they're not, you know, in a sexual arousal mode. They'll just tune you out. And that's because the love and the caring is not there. That's why, you know, now more than ever, people have to get real and find out that love is the ultimate thing. Sex, we all need sex. We all want good sex. Some of us require it. Some of us need that. Some of them are not even attuned with what good sex is because they haven't been exposed to it. Um, so, but those then it becomes an addiction. An addiction, you know, can be vicious. It can be vicious because it will not allow you that space in your heart, in your mind to really be worthy of love because you're pleasuring yourself. You're not loving yourself. I used to have a woman and she says, I need to love myself while I'm sharing myself with someone. I didn't really understand at the time, you know, because she was very physically attracted to me. So I say, yeah, okay. But no, I understand. I understand now that you really have to be loving yourself to be intimate with someone, you know. It's not just the banging, the banging, the banging, the power, and the slapping, and this, and the spanking, and this. I mean, you know, look, it's all play. You understand? I understand more than anyone, than most men. But the thing is, love. I've come to understand that love, and this didn't happen overnight, you know. In a sense, it did, but it happened many years ago, and you know, throughout this journey, I haven't betrayed the my virtues or my decrees or my precepts uh, that I took an oath and secrecy and stuff. But the thing is, I did. Uh, when you settle for something, you know, like you go from this love thing that you trying to nurture in the beginning with all the right, with the heart in place, all the right intents and all the right actions and everything. It's just that one person was misaligned with you. You know, that person was uh, in a field or in a realm where it was falsehood. You, you know, it wasn't like she didn't belong there or he didn't belong there. Let's just keep it, all right? Not just personal here. Although I do talk about a lot of personal things that only to try to teach others to try to avoid, or at least to give them some awareness of that no-nos, the red flags, the this and the that. All right, so I have a lot of experience with, let's say, for example, narcissists. Um, I even have a way of talking back to them, or they uh, they think it's cute because I don't deal with that crap very well, you know. And so yeah, um, so at these times, you know, traveling is another. It's not realistic. Oh, you gotta travel here. Oh, you gotta take a cruise there. Oh, you gotta go this and now you gotta meet somebody. And boom, and you gotta have sex. All that twin flame soulmate stuff. Again, during these times and before these times, everyone had, I'm sure, an opportunity to to unite or reunite with the soulmate. They did not because of other goals, of other interests, or because of could be some discrimination of some sort, and you know, and of course, physical things, you know, requirements that people have, whatever. Everything gets in the way, you know, because you probably have a lot of options, and you're out there, and you be a player, and I know how it is. I know how it is when you're out there. You just got that thing, and you just like a magnet, and you just attract them, you know, and you attract the most, well, let's just leave it at the most fun type, I guess, for that field. All right. So, but, you know, psychologically is another thing, right? When you deal with your emotional being, that's a whole different thing because you're not aligned with, and I forgot to lower the music. I hope that it didn't disturb anyone. I hope it didn't disturb anything, but I needed to lower the music. Um, so now the thing is, I hope you have your attention, and I'm making sense here because again, psychologically, emotionally is a whole different thing. You know, sex is used for pleasure and release. You know, you feel, oh man, golly, you feel like, yeah, you know, brand new, or you feel, it depends, of course, it depends on your partner, what type of sex you're having, and if you're actually being satisfied or not. But if you are, which, you know, you feel like you were just rejuvenated, and you feel fresh and good, and that's all real good, like I said, you know. But again, back to, what's the title? Um, let's get real, right? Wake up call. That's it. And so, yeah, again, those who did not go for the love that rejected and denied the love of someone that maybe possibly, I understand both have to be, you know, when you both are meant to be connected, but there's some distortion of sort, you know, whether from a third party and other options and other opportunities that get in the way of reuniting with that soulmate. The twin flames, well, listen, and you know, you go out again, there's no dancing, there's no bars, there's no drinking, all this stuff that, you know, people go to, and, you know, they get all riled up, and they end up with somebody, in, you know, wherever. And, you know, so yeah, it's a thing that's drastic changes, you know, because of drastic times. Uh, we now care about our health, our well-being. We have food, we have a roof. Um, we think about those things. I always thought about those things, you know. But again, you always take things for granted when you're out there, in a player, or just not on that, okay, the mindset where you know you need to appreciate every day um, of your life. You know, you need to not take anything or anyone for granted. That's the most important thing. Again, because we are now in the midst of this, then it can be that some are left alone, and maybe not. You know, if you have family members, you have sisters, brothers, sisters, things like that. It's like I do. I have sisters, and I just spoke to one today, and she reassured, and just, just she doesn't have to reassure. I know their love. I know my love for them. I, you know, I know their love for me, and my daughter and everything. So it's, you know, there's love there. You know, so it's good. You know, when it comes down to it, we're all going to unite as one force. And but when it comes to couples, and maybe you're in a bad marriage, I don't know. Maybe it's whatever, you know. So let me check my notes here because I want to cover certain things. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about work. It's about uh, your livelihood. You know, it's about your safety, your security. It's about your health. Just being contributing to it by taking precautions, not taking things for granted. You know, with those young kids playing at the beach. Now, in a way, yes, you can blame them, but on the other hand, they heard on the news coming from Washington that young kids will not be affected. The elderly are the most vulnerable. So, boom, that's all they had to hear, and they're out partying. You know, hey, that's how it is when you're young, right? And sometimes, yes, even if you tell them not to do it, they're still going to do it. But this was mentally programmed to, to not that it's okay. It's okay. Go party. Go do this. Go do that. You know, all the stuff you do. You were young once. You're young now. You know what you do. You know what you did. And we all know what we did and what we do. So drastic changes, drastic times. Let's get real. Let's get real. So, yeah. Again, a lot of you card readers, you are considered by others maybe as witches, you know, sorceress or sorcerer or what is this? A mystic, you know. I surely not stranger to mysticism. Again, this is who I am, and I never portrayed to be anyone that was not. So I personally know, because I've been studying this for 26 years now, and I know for sure that you become awkward to some women because you're not in that realm where they're at, you know. You're also not in player mode. Um, you're more serious about a lot of things, you know. You're serious especially about who you share yourself with, you know, because this is not just the spiritual use. Remember, physical STDs, spiritual STDs. Yeah, there is such a thing. And so, yeah, you have to be true to yourself. So you take everything more seriously when you go into this realm of spirituality, and sometimes it does take drastic changes, drastic things that may happen to you. You know, first they manifest spiritually, then they manifest physically and mentally, emotionally. Okay, because that's the effect from above to below, from below to above. And then you break down and you just, um, you know, metaphorically, you break down and you just don't know, you just hit rock bottom, perhaps. And then the only way to go is up. Okay? And the only way to go up is to renounce your she devil ways, and your he devil ways, and your demonic ways, and just be more considerate, more wiser, wise up, you know, become healthier, mind, body, spirit, souls, you know. Don't torture your soul with a lot of crap, and spirit can be, energy can be directed to wherever you put it, you know. So, um, again, um, I know for sure because I've had abundant experience in a lot of different things. And so I stand here before you, and I don't talk BS or try to psych you into anything or believe in anything or try to convince you of anything. I'm just talking, and it may resonate with you and may not resonate with you. But listen, I don't, I don't like to stand, even sit here and waste my time, you know. Which brings me to, when instead of sitting here and judging and stuff like that, some of you, um, oh well, uh, is this, is that, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. I don't know, whatever your readings and your mind says. Really think about. I know that again, you that are considered witches and psychics and whatever else, uh, it's not easy. No fucking way. It's easy to have the man, the genuine person in your life. Because most of these guys, especially their players and they're operating on lower levels than you. And just because you're an intuitive or a card reader doesn't mean you're operating in the fifth dimension either. I got to tell you, not even in the fourth, sometimes the first, second, and the third. Because you make this into a money making thing, and the themes that pay the most, which is love, soulmates, and twin flames. I think that's a great money maker there. Uh, and it's about just you know going with the times. That's all. Doesn't mean that the cosmos. Another thing too, divinity. If you get your information, your messages from the divine, then that doesn't resonate very well with, say, for example, narcissists. You're going to predict, and you're going to keep predicting and saying, "Oh, that person changed their mind. Oh, that person changed their ways. Oh, that person is coming back. Oh, that." It can go on and on. It's been going on, and no, because I don't think, and I doesn't make sense, right? I mean, I'm talking practical and logical here. Divinity, you can only get information from the divine if there's a person that's aligned with divinity. If they're operating in lower worlds, it's like it's just not. The person you're reading for may be divine masculine, or divine feminine, but the other person, or say the emperor or the empress, but the other person is not, because they're not operating in those worlds and higher worlds and those levels required to be able to really sink and not put any kind of bullshit in between here that is weak in truth. It doesn't have, you know. So I think that's pretty much what I want to say for today. And we talked about various things. I have a few other things I want to talk, but it's not gonna be the extension reading because that's not a reading. I'm just offering here my services and my myself here in my time for you. And I should be gaining subscribers and not losing subscribers. I think one of those themes that I did, oh yeah, racist woman having sex with all races. That was one of the controversial. It got a lot of views, but it seems like I lost a few, and I didn't really mean to. I'm surely not a racist myself. I dealt with all my clients. I dealt with all nationalities. I dealt with, throughout my whole life, not just, all my life I dealt with of all different cultures and nationalities. So, and I am Noah, and they respect me, and because I show them respect and understanding, empathy, whatever it cost is. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I really, surely appreciate And I hope that things will get better, that these, uh, no more this downplaying, no more of this hiding the formulas, the remedies and stuff. Everything needs to come out. If you have one or I have one, I'm going to share it. That I know elderberries is something good for this type of thing. Elderberries. That's all I'm going to say for that. All right. Thank you so much. And like, subscribe. Come on, subscribe and share. Try to share with those that are attuned with what I'm talking about. Take care of yourselves.